Jazakallah khaira Sheikh Assim al-Hakeem. We now have time for question and answers. We have the 3 mics, one at the front, one in the rear, and one for the sisters. We'll start with the first question from the brother at the front.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Advocate Shreyas Rao. I'm a lawyer by vocation. In India, the Islamic clergy has the habit of, issuing fatwas. And fatwas, as per the Quran, if you can correct me, is a mere opinion, not a command. But on flimsy grounds, for trivial reasons, these fatwas are issued, and I believe it tarnishes and blemishes the entire community as a whole. And in India, if we come across one bad Muslim, there is the tendency to paint everyone with the same brush. So I would like to know that when it is appropriate to issue a fatwa, and how much of the impact a fatwa should have on Muslims in general.
Thank you for your question. First of all, I urge you not to sue me. As a lawyer, when I answer your question now.
No, I'll not do that.
Okay, thank you. Brother, fatwa is not mentioned in the Quran. So you say that the Quran says that we should not do this. It is not mentioned in the Quran. Fatwa is a religious opinion. And I've stated through my talk that a number of issues, and I said that the scholars have different opinions. And this is human nature. But to follow a fatwa blindly, this is not Islamic. The fatwa should be in accordance to the Quran and Sunnah, not caring about what the others say. So when I issue a fatwa, now I've just issued a fatwa saying that protesting is not allowed in Islam. Do you think that the people and the brothers believe or accept this? I know that a lot of them say, no, this is not acceptable. We have to protest. We have to do this. This is my opinion, and I base my opinion on Quran and Sunnah. I can sit and talk and negotiate with other scholars who know what I'm talking about. But what I do not recommend or think that it is appropriate is when someone comes and takes a look at the fatwas and say, now this fatwa is flimsy, or this fatwa is not appropriate. Who is classifying and grading this fatwa? If he's a scholar, I accept this. But if he's not, it is like me going to a heart surgeon or a neurosurgeon. And when he says, I have to do this surgery, I say, show me your procedure. So he gives me the x-ray and I say, okay. He said, no, it's upside down. Oops, sorry. And I start to say, yeah, I think you should not give him this medication. And I think that you should not go from here, from the nose is much easier. Is this acceptable to this neurosurgeon? What are you talking about? This is not your field. So those who judge the fatwa, they themselves should be scholars, so that they can tell us that this fatwa is right or wrong. And they should justify. We, as Muslims, as a student of knowledge, I'm not a scholar, I'm a very tiny student of knowledge, but as a student of knowledge, no scholar in Islam could come and say, Simon says, do this. I said, no, first of all, you're not Simon. Second of all, I am not a child. I have the knowledge of the Quran, I have the knowledge of the Sunnah. You cannot manipulate me. Tell me why you want me to do this and prove it to me. So as Muslims, we should not be like sheep. The scholar says, do this. Yes, sir. Give me 50% of your money. And if you do, then I'd like to be one of your scholars, because this is to make me rich. No, we follow the scholars in accordance to the Quran and to the Sunnah. But we have to know and be knowledgeable. And we should not be like sheep, allowing people to drive us left and right. Now, having said this, I do not care if the government likes it or not. And I do not care if the people like it or not. I care most if I'm doing what Allah Azza wa Jal is pleased with as a Muslim. So I give my opinion to the best of my knowledge. Now, if it's right, alhamdulillah, I did my best. If it's wrong, I did my best. And I hope this answers the question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question from the rear mic.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdullah. I am a student of IS. My question to you is, for example, a footballer gets Sekeenah from playing football, or a druggist gets Sekeenah while having drugs. But the main point is to get the tranquility. Then why does Islam focus on the Islamic tranquility?
I have stated this in my talk, and I said that there is a partial Sekeenah, a temporary Sekeenah that is not from Allah, in the sense that it is not a blessing from Allah. Definitely no person who's sane and a Muslim would say that when someone takes heroin or cocaine and he gets this calmness, this is from Allah and Allah is pleased with him. No, this is from shaitan. So there are temporary forms of Sekeenah, such as patience. For example, Christopher Reeve, well known as Superman. He died, he passed away. This man was an excellent horseman, an excellent rider. He was a famous actor in Hollywood. He was blessed with a beautiful wife and 4 children. He was rich, he was famous. He was riding, and all of a sudden, while jumping the fence, the horse saw something like a rabbit. So it froze, and Christopher started flying. He fell on his neck. He was paralyzed, neck down. The first 8 weeks, he wrote this, and it was in an article about 12 pages in the Time years ago. I read this, and I felt that this, subhanAllah, was this close from becoming a Muslim. He thought of suicide, he thought of dying, and then he got this patience in him, believing in what he was suffering, and he decided to live his life. He participated in the Olympics for the handicapped. He participated in a yacht race. He started making this organization for curing the spinal cords and so on. Is this from Allah Azza wa Jal? He's a disbeliever. Therefore, we believe that this is one of the tools that the Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal uses to guide people if they accept Islam. And he was this close to accept because he was patient. He was accepting that this calamity is from Allah. He's saying this, whatever happens to me is from God. He's not just saying it from Allah, it's God. So a lot of Muslims do not have this Sekeenah because they do not ask it from Allah, and if it comes, they reject it. These are temporary forms of Sekeenah, but they're not the full Sekeenah that are mentioned in the Quran. Allah gives some of it to the non-Muslims so that it would draw them to Islam and to knowing Him and to appreciating Him and to believing that it is He, the Almighty, that controls the worlds. If they accept it, alhamdulillah. If they don't, it is temporary. That's similar to the footballer who gets his tranquility once he scores the goal, and it soon disappears when he misses a penalty kick by the coach. And Allah knows best.
The next question from the sister.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. My name is Jamila Mukri and I'm a primary school teacher. I would like to ask you, can you mention at least 5 ways how we can develop Sekeenah or build Sekeenah as Muslims?
5, I think the time does not permit. This is an easy escape from saying I don't know 5. But 5, time does not permit. Let's say, first way of attaining Sekeenah, your knowledge of Allah's presence with you. If you are in a calamity and you depend only on your sources, on my wallet, on my friends I can talk in the government, in the police to take me out of this trouble, on my reputation, oh, it's the Sheikh, please. I depend on my sources, so I feel secure and I can feel the Sekeenah from this. But there are lots of calamities, of problems that nothing can help you except the knowledge that Allah is with you. Allah is with you with His power, with His knowledge, with His mercy. So the minute I believe in this, wallahi, nothing can shake you up. Nothing. When you know that Allah is with you and He's controlling everything. So when you make